I'll demonstrate C102 and C103 because the download link for Cryptool was wrong, so I delayed the due date of both of those till next week. C102 was due today, but if you haven't done it, we won't take any points off if you get them in by next week, which I guess is true for everything anyway. Yeah, nothing is really due until 9/8 anyway, because people might still be adding. But anyway, I just fixed the download link. They moved Cryptool around again, and I just installed it on this Windows machine. So let me just demonstrate some of these things. Cryptool was, I think, designed to teach basic cryptography to people that worked at a bank in Germany or something, and it makes it easy to implement a lot of these algorithms so you can see what they do. So it's a nice little graphic program that runs in .NET, and what we're going to do here is use the wizard. So I click Use the Wizard, and then you can do various things like cryptanalysis, and next. And we're going to do the Caesar cipher, classic encryption, next. And the Caesar cipher, next. And here's Caesar analysis. So it's going to start with a bunch of scrambled text here. And it's in German. And you click Next and decrypt it to get decrypted German, but something about Julius Caesar in German. All right, and that's what you get. All right, and down here, you can see how it did it. It did it by doing frequency analysis, which we talked about in lecture last time. It calculated how often these letters appear, and the most common letter is J in German. It's E in English, but it's J in German, so you can see how it worked. All right. And so I got one here for you to decrypt. And you can do these things. You can put in English here. So you can put things in English and crack them using this tool by just using the wizard. Maybe it's just what the encryption was, J is just what the encryption was outputting. No, what it's done is it calculated how often. Oh, no, I think you're right. I think J is the most likely letter in the ciphertext. You're right. And therefore that matches whatever the most common letter is in German, which I don't know what it is. You're right. This is the frequency of what they call unigrams. You can also do it by digrams, two-letter pairs. But this is unigram frequency. So you're right. The most common letter in the ciphertext is J, so that tells you what the shift is. The shift is to shift that to whatever the most common letter in German is, which you're right, is probably, they say the key is 5. So whatever the most common letter in German is, it's 5 away from J. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, probably also E then. Yeah, good point. Anyway, that's how the Caesar analysis works. And so you can crack other encrypted stuff here. You can use this tool to crack it, and I've got some challenges here, including one challenge that is so short that you can't use this tool, and you're going to have to find other tools. And let's take a look at the substitution ciphers, which is C103. If you go to the wizard, cryptanalysis next, classic encryption. Okay, we're here in classic encryption, next. Yes, I said next, I thought. There we are. And then we can do monoalphabetic substitution, which we talked about before, where you don't just shift every letter forward a certain number of spaces in the alphabet, you scramble letters, replacing each letter with another letter. So here's a ciphertext of unreadable junk, and it's in English, and you can attack it next here, and it will crack it using an algorithm, and it will take a little time to do it. You can see up here, start. It's trying various things, trying 56,000 keys per second, trying various keys, and when it's done progress, and when it's done, it deciphers it. In cryptography, a substitution cipher is a method. So here's the key. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G goes to these letters, V, Y, A, N, W. It's just a random connection of one letter substituted by another. And yet you can still do it with frequency analysis, which is one way to do it. There are various algorithms, and if you read the help menu, it'll actually tell you it uses a variety of algorithms to do this. But in principle, this might seem like a very strong system, because there's an enormous number, like 26 factorial, ways to map 26 letters on a different set of 26 letters. But since each letter always maps to the same other letter, then double letters remain double letters, and there's only 5 or 6 possible double letters in English, so you know what they are. And the most common letter is still E, so you can find the most common one that's E, and then T, and then A, and then you can find like 2 and 3 letter things with a T and an E in them that you can pretty much guess. And you can actually crack these kind of things pretty fast even without a computer. And there are various computer algorithms that do it. So it has to, so anyway, that's the monoalphabetic substitution cipher. And I don't think, and I think there was also an AE, yeah, it talks in the instructions here about what it does, a dictionary attack and a genetic attack and so on. And I think I had one of these where you actually used AES in that thing. Yeah, that's coming up later. But I'm thinking maybe I'll just talk about this one now because it fits. We'll talk about it later. Right, those are the simple ones. We're still in the beginning encryption here. All right, and 105 I think is not due until 2 weeks out, so I'll talk about that next week, because the 2-time pad is very nice, where you crack a 1-time pad that's used twice. That's fun. But it takes a little bit of cleverness to do it in Python. We'll talk about it next time, I think. So I guess that's it for this.